please.
Thank you, Chairman. Mr. Nyachae, you okay with that? Okay.
As I said, they're all my names. You heard Mr. Mr. call me Charles. I'm comfortable with that.
Okay. In the next election, the youth are going to be the highest percentage. However, they face barriers like disillusionment, apathy. So if you become chair, how would you meaningfully engage them in the electoral processes so that they're able to take care of their political and civil rights?
I think that the answer to that is at several levels. At the most intimate level, of course, if the commission is in place and, for example, starts continuous registration of voters, the chances are that the 500,000 or so people who are going to be employed to do that are going to be young people. That's at one level where they will feel engaged. But in terms of the process itself, because IEBC is required to deliver on a credible election, and that is reflected in both its vision and its mission. Then, if you take the cycle, the electoral cycle, the young people will want to be part of the process right from the stage of registration of them now being forget about them working for IEBC to register voters, but them now making it easy for them to register. This requires voter education, because in the process of voter education, all stakeholders, including IEBC, must dispel from the notion, from young people and Kenyans generally, the notion that the election is about other people, not about them. And I think the Commission, through voter education, can go a long way in making them feel part of the process. It is not the Commission's responsibility, for example, to deal with identity cards, but the Commission, as an entity that deals with elections, if I was chair, I would be talking to the executive about how we can help young people to be to have IDs. And there are many challenges. There are many challenges. Some of them on day one, whoever goes to that commission, and they're going to involve young people. Take the by-elections, for example, that are pending. If you take a constituency like Banisa, I think 2 years they have not had representation. In those 2 years, there must be a lot of young people who have come of age, maybe have IDs, and they want to vote. The law requires that you stop registration of voters. Is it 60 days? 60 days before the date of the by-election. So, where there is an urgency in having that by-election, these young people are going to feel disenfranchised. That's just one example. Now, at a national level, there is an obligation on all stakeholders to ensure, right from them being enabled to get identity cards, which, as I say, is not part of IEBC's mandate, so they get identity cards, IEBC must facilitate them to register as voters. And very importantly, in terms of civic education, and voter education, and the wider civic education anyway, which as a country maybe we haven't done very well, there is a need for all of us to work together to ensure that the youth in this country feel that they matter. That is stakeholder engagement.
So would you think of, when I like the part you talked about the obligation of creating awareness on obligations of stakeholders. So would there be specific programs targeting the youth on this?
Yes, I would, after receiving advice on how we could do this, and especially what are the financial implications, if I was chair, I would put a high premium on inclusivity for young people, so that they feel this process, they are part of it, they are an integral part of it. As you said when you were asking the question, they even are the larger percentage of the people that citizens that are eligible to vote. So I would look to the National Treasury to specifically provide funds to enhance, especially voter education, and in that particular section of stakeholders, and engage them as widely as we can in that, and continuously in that period before the elections, and continue. I think, looking at the wider issue, I think one of the challenges IEBC seems to have is that, especially in terms of funding, the focus only seems to be as you approach elections. And yet things like voter education, registration and so on and so forth are things really which should be completely around the electoral cycle. And I would want, if I was chair, I would want, as a matter of policy, to engage commissioners so that we collectively engage those who provide funding, so that there's a specific target of young people.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I'd like to ask Mr. Bore,